that is little bit different, which everybody would talk. And my today's topic is about nutrition, though the topic is yoga and diet. But as I said, I think everybody is comfortable with English, yeah, Hindi and English or Hindi mix. Monali ma'am, please tell
Yes,
me.
yes, yes, ma'am.
Chalega na English?
Yes, yes.
Okay, great. So, though the topic is yoga and diet, I would talk more about nutrition because, as I said, traditional textbooks about Bhagavad Gita and Hatha Yoga Pradipika, there would be many more speakers, and there would be many more people who are more expert in that. So, I expertise my topic about nutrition. But before that, I would just give a brief introduction about yoga in traditional yogic texts, that is Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita talks about Yuktahar Viharasya, the shlok everybody of us knows. It says yoga becomes the destroyer of pain for for those for those who eat moderate, sleep moderate, and do recreation in moderate. So everything in moderation is said good as per Bhagavad Gita. Hatha Yoga Pradipika talks something about mitahara. Here, mita means not sweet but moderate, and ahara is food. So even Hatha Yoga Pradipika talks about eating moderately. So when we talk, ma'am, next slide, please. So when we talk about diet, I would just like to skip this Ayurveda wala slide. So the concept of food and nutrition. So when we talk about diet or when we talk about nutrition, we all know कि basically nutrition, everybody knows a nutritionist is there for weight loss and weight gain. But that is not the scene. Nutrition is basically what we require every day in our day-to-day life. But nutrition is a very important thing which we require in our day-to-day life. So nutrition science talks about food is a very basic of our life. First, the food we eat through the process goes through the process of digestion, converts into nutrients and are absorbed, transported to different parts of the body, which is helpful for the day-to-day functioning of our body. At the end of which they are uh, disposed by the future metabolism and transformation into the end products. We need to consume a variety of foods to remain healthy. Nowadays, we have seen so many people saying saying that I am on a diet. I eat only once a day. I eat only twice a day. I eat only sprouts. I'm on a no grain diet. All these things really don't work. I don't say it doesn't work, but these things really don't work because each and everything which is there in the world is required for us. Next slide, please, ma'am. So coming to the concept of food and nutrition and its components. See, these are all the components which are very much required for us in our day-to-day life. The first thing is water. Water is a nutrient which is forgotten by everybody of us. We think water, morning many people are used, morning they wake up, they drink a glass of water, raat ko they drink a glass of water, sometimes khane ke baad they drink water. But water, which is very much required, some people say you require 2 liters, 3 liters. That exactly not the thing, but you require water. Ideally, you should drink water every time whenever you are thirsty. Many a times we are in the class, we forgot a bottle, so we don't want to get up in middle of the class, so that 1 hour we don't drink water. Sometimes we are traveling, we didn't carry a bottle, so that 2-3 hours we don't drink water. This exactly is not right. We should drink water every time we are thirsty or every time we want water. Our body asks for whatever is required. The second one is carbohydrate. The Ayurveda sir, which had taken a topic, said that carbohydrate, basically, what is the culprit of weight gain is carbohydrate. Yes, but for our day-to-day activities, carbohydrate is required because carbohydrate is a thing that gives us energy. We need energy for walking, eating, everything else. But yes, for breathing also we require energy. For each and every transportation, each and everything happening in our body also we require energy. So for that all energy, we require carbohydrates. The second is amino acids. Amino acids is required for the breakdown of all these carbohydrates or proteins or whatever we are eating and drinking. For that breaking down, amino acids is required. Protein, as we all know, protein is a very much common and heard word in nutrition. Protein, as we all know, people say if you're working out, you require protein. If you're exercising, you require protein. But yes, if you're doing nothing also, you require protein for the breakdown of the components of our body and for our day-to-day activities. Sitting down, getting up, waking up, all these things also require protein. Then comes lipids, which is called fats in layman language. So nowadays I have seen people are keep away from fats. I don't eat ghee, I don't eat oil. But to some extent, lipid is also required for our body. Then comes the most important things, vitamins and minerals. Vitamins, we all know nowadays, we have very commonly heard when you go for a blood test, people say you're lacking in B12. B12 is a very common, which everybody is paying more attention to now. But there are many vitamins. There are fat soluble vitamins, there are water soluble vitamins, there are many different types of vitamins, but B12 is a very common vitamin which all the people have just heard recently. And minerals, these are also called as micronutrients, which are very, very much required for our body. Next slide, ma'am. Now, let me tell you one thing. If we say nowadays we are much on supplements. B12 come ho gaya, to take this supplements. D3 ke liye take this supplements. For this, take that supplements. I'm not against supplements, but we are getting these things in our day-to-day food, in our day-to-day diet. Each and everything of these things we are getting. So if we take a balanced diet, if we take a proper full-fledged diet, I don't think anybody would require supplements. Now, what is a balanced diet? Apart from this slide, I was just like to tell you what is a balanced diet. A balanced diet, if I show you a plate of chapati, bhaji, dal and chawal with some curd and with some sweet, yes, this is a balanced diet. You can skip off that sweet from that plate, but usually roti, sabzi, dal, chawal is very much required in your day-to-day life. Health is a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being and not only absence of disease or deformity. So if I have no pains, if my each and every part of my hands are working, of my body are working, my hands are working, my legs are working, my body is working, I have no disease, I have no deformities, that only that doesn't mean I'm a healthy person. If I'm having irritable bowel syndrome, if I'm having a digestion issues, physically I'm very well, but मेरा digestion issues हो जाता है, I get on and off, I get constipation or I get diarrhea. So this is again not an only health. So this is again not healthy. Everything of yours should be healthy. Okay, I'm physically very healthy, मुझे डायरिया वगैरह भी कुछ नहीं होता है, but my state of mind is not stable. I keep on thinking this, I keep on thinking that, I'm not able to concentrate on one thing. This is also equally important. So even your physical and mental state should be healthy. Again, social well-being is also important. I am such type of person, very short tempered. सामने कोई भी आ जाता है तो गुस्सा हो जाती हूँ. Whenever I go out, बाहर कोई भी मिलता है, waiters to those small people, waiters है, housekeeping people है, I yell at them. So even this is not a healthy person. So a healthy person should be physically, mentally, as well as socially in a good state of mind. The requirements of the positive health are achievement of optimal health and development during childhood and adolescence, maintaining structural and functional integrity of the body tissues. Now, how these things will become healthy? Now, how each and every cell of your body or each and every tissues will become healthy. There will be somebody who will be taking about your anatomy and physiology. So there these cells and tissue concept will be clear to you. So each and every of these things require something to work well. Each and every organs require something to work well. Now what this something is? So this something is the food. Each and every organs or each and every parts require different types of food. So all types of food which I have added, just included in the list, that is carbohydrate, fats, proteins, everything is required for a person to remain healthy. Ma'am, next slide, please. So now we all must have heard about malnutrition. Very, very common thing. What is malnutrition? Malnutrition can be undernutrition or overnutrition. Nowadays, in today's scenario, we have two extremities. We don't have a normal healthy person, बहुत कम दिखते हैं. We have two extremities. One is either very weak and very, you can say like that girl, if she or he is like weak and lean, I'm healthy, I have a zero figure and I'm healthy. Or else, so we see either very weak or you can say undernourished people, or we see overnourished people. That is overnutrition, that is obesity. Child obesity is a very, very common thing nowadays. Even in young age, we have obesity. The reason for this obesity is sedentary lifestyle. We all know about that. Sitting and working, not working much, bas thoda sa din bhar mein you just get up from your chair to do some activities, ghar ka kuch kaam kar lo, again back to the chair and you're working. So this is a sedentary lifestyle. Now, because of this sedentary lifestyle, obviously there are two extremities again. Either you're not hungry at all because you have not walked, you have not got up, you have not worked, so you're not hungry, so you'll end up eating less or not eating. Or else you doing nothing, you are overworking, so you're overeating. Doing nothing, just thinking and doing nothing, so you're overeating. So there are two extremities. Either you're less eating or you're overeating. So this leads to malnutrition. Malnutrition is either underweight or overweight. This occurs when the body doesn't get enough nutrients. Cause include a poor diet. Now coming back to nutrients, as I said, because you don't have work, because you don't have time to cook sometimes, because you have ordered from outside, sometimes you don't get the right choice to order. What happens? You land up eating junk food or fast food. Now what happens in this junk food or fast food? In the junk food or fast food, what you are getting is more of carbohydrates. I said carbohydrates is also equally important, but you're getting more of carbohydrates and less of proteins and less of all the rest of the things you're getting in your diet. So what is required is a wholesome diet. Now, ideally, for a wholesome diet, if I say there is proportion for carbohydrates, protein, fats, and energy for each and every person. For a layman, it is a different. For a male, it is a different. For a female, it is different. For a working person, it is different. For a person who is less active, it is different. And for a person who is more active, it is different. So for all these things, it is different. But at present, I'm talking about a layman. Is everybody aware that a layman, a person who is not working at all, who is not doing any physical activity, also requires 0.8 grams per kg of body weight of protein? Have you ever heard this? And do you ever think you are taking that? You must have heard this, but do you ever think you are taking that? I mean, 0.8 grams of per kg of body weight is very difficult for any person to take. So now I'm not going to tell you to take protein supplements or take those whey protein things or eat those health bars. I'm not going to tell you all that. But there are n number of food which gives you protein. So you should plan a proper diet if you want to remain healthy. So as in, if you want all the nutrients to get into your body, you want to survive without supplements, you can get all this in your diet. Only the thing is, you need to plan a proper diet. Okay, so coming back, so now how do you do this nutrition assessment? There are different ways of doing nutrition assessment. You all must be knowing that there is something which is called BMI, the body mass index. Then we do the measurement, and then we do the waist hip ratios. There are n number of ways, which is another topic. The assessment skill topic will be covered in this session of yours. So there are n number of ways how do we do a nutritional status. So I'm not going to go much detail into that. The goal of nutrition assessment is to identify if individuals require aggressive nutrition support, restore to nutrient and individuals' nutrition status, monitor the efficacy of their interventions, and identify appropriate MNT, that is medical nutrition therapy. Now, why do we have to reach to the level of medical nutrition therapy? Medical nutrition therapy is something which you require, which you need to go to some expert to know what is required for you, and then you need to go for supplements of certain things, and then all these things you have to go through. But why do you want to go in such situation? Only thing, everything, all of these nutrients are there in our plate only. All micronutrients, macronutrients, you can say vitamins, minerals, each and everything you get in your food plate. So if you eat each and every food, like you eat seasonal fruits and vegetables, this we have already covered in our Ayurveda part also. Even yogic diet talks about seasonal fruits and vegetables. Ma'am, next slide, please. Even yogic diet talks about seasonal fruits. You must have all heard about dinacharya and ritacharya. What is dinacharya is what you eat, how is your regime of eating, and ritacharya is eating seasonal fruits and vegetables. Now, why do you think these vegetables and fruits concept must have come in the world? Because in different seasons, your metabolism varies. So as your metabolism is in that season, that particular fruit or vegetable, if you eat in that season, that is going to be easy to digest, and that is going to give you that nutrients which is required for you in that particular season. Since it's a mango season, just take an example of mango. N number of people say, I don't eat mangoes. If you don't like, that is a different part. But there are 90% of people who like mangoes, but they don't eat mangoes just because उससे weight gain होता है, उससे potassium बढ़ता है, ये बढ़ता है, वो बढ़ता है, this and that. But if you are taking in a proportion, as Bhagavad Gita says, everything in proportion is required. If you are taking one mango a day or taking it in the right time, so if you are taking it in proportion, it is the thing that is going to give you n number of nutrients, n number of vitamins, which are going to suffice for you for your entire year. Not entire life, for the entire year till the next season the mangoes come. Mangoes is again, yes, so it's high in potassium, it is high in vitamin B6, it is high in fiber. Most orange, the things which contains those linings are high in fiber, are rich in fiber. So it's rich in fiber. It gives you nutrients of n number of vitamins which which gives you vitamins to suffice throughout the year. So imagine how important eating one mango per day in this season is. So those who all are not eating mango just because of weight gain or any other reason should remember that all seasonal fruits and vegetables have their own benefits. I have seen many people who say कि I don't eat rice, मुझे diabetes है इसलिए मैं rice नहीं खाता हूँ या खाती हूँ. But you know, that person lands up overeating. Why? Because lunch में 2 चपाती खा लिया, I didn't eat rice, so I'm hungry again within 2 hours. Then 2 hours में always you don't get anything healthy, so you'll end up munching some nonsense thing. Again, because of that munching, again evening का थोड़ा सा craving हो जाता है. Then evening again you don't get anything proper, so you land up munching some nonsense things. फिर you feel कि नहीं यार एक sweet खा लूँ तो वो craving सब चला जाएगा. So there are such, and that is the reason. So rice is not the culprit, but because of not eating rice and because of overeating of the rest of the things, you are gaining weight or your blood sugar levels are increasing. Now, please don't take it the other way. It is very much individualized. So if a doctor or if some nutritionist have told you that rice is not good for you, then there may be some reason for he or she telling you that. So don't take it in other way. As one dress doesn't fit everybody, similarly, one diet plan doesn't fit everybody. So when we go for a diet plan, specifically when it is disorders oriented or weight oriented, that time first we take the entire history of that person with the disease, the disorders, and what is the type of food. Like if a South Indian person comes to me for the diet और मैंने अपना ready diet plan दे दिया उनको, have 2 chapatis and bhaji in the lunch, and that South Indian person will tell यार हम लोग तो चपाती खाते ही नहीं है, then I can't skip to that. So it's not similar. No same diet is for everybody. So a dietitian or a nutritionist plans the diet as per the person's regime. So if a person is used to eat 4 chapatis and a person is going for weight loss, I can't say 4 chapatis se zyada ho ja raha hai, just skip it and put it to 1 chapati. I can't say that, and that ideally is not to be said. So slowly you can go down, or you can know the reason, या फिर कोई other option बोलो. Just giving an example. So chapati के साथ when you are eating your food, take dal in each and every sip dal with each and every bite. उससे 2 फायदा होगा. एक तो प्रोटीन अच्छा मिल जाएगा, and because of that dal in each and every bite, your stomach, you'll feel your stomach little bit full. So that you'll feel your stomach full, so that you will land up eating less. Okay, one most important thing, at least yogis ko I don't think I should tell, but the state of mind when you're eating. All these yogis, all who are over here, all those who are following the path of yoga must have understood or must have seen what is satiety. Satiety is the feeling of fullness. Now, let me tell you one thing. Sometimes as I eat 2 chapatis every day, बस मेरा रूल है 2 चपाती रोज खाना है. आज सब्जी ज्यादा थी तो मैंने 3 चपाती खा लिया, बट नो, आई एम स्टिक टू माई 2 chapatis only every day. बट उसके बावजूद भी sometimes you feel very full, and sometimes you feel 2 चपाती खाने के बाद भी यार आज कुछ और थोड़ा भी खा सकती थी, because you have not understood when your body has told you to stop eating. This happens only if you eat in the state of calm mind, without a TV or without a mobile. Everybody can try this once. ना TV on करना है, ना मोबाइल चालू रखना है, ना किसी से gossiping करना है, ना किसी से बात करना है, ना किसी से chit chat करना है. You must have heard in this Ayurvedic concept कि when you get burps, there are 3 burps which give you a signal of to stop eating. But we all are not aware of it, because वो burp जब आता है वो हमको पता ही नहीं चलता है, because we are not into that state of mind जब body अपना brain is giving you the signal कि stop eating, because our concentration, our mind is somewhere else. We are doing something else and just eating for the sake of eating, because खाने से मुझे energy मिलता है या मुझे nutrition मिलता है. So that is the reason why we are eating. But if we are eating for energy and nutrients, at least eat what is really required for that. Now, what is the difference between a normal diet and a therapeutic diet? So basically, the difference between a nutritionist and a dietitian. A nutritionist is a person who gives, there are many people, as I just gave example now, what is required for you. You get each and every vitamins and minerals and everything from your diet, from your food. But so you need not go for supplements. So similarly, now I have to restrict a few foods in my diet because of some allergy, because of some reason. Some people have celiac disease, so they can't eat wheat. Some people have some issues with the milk digest nahi hota, lactose intolerance hota hai. Some people have allergic to some particular type of food. So now, if I'm just giving an example, if I am such a type of person who is allergic to milk and milk products, then where will I get the protein from? So for me, I have to go to a therapeutic diet. A therapeutic diet is a diet which will help me, or which will give me some other option for my protein intake because I am not taking milk or milk products. So protein वैसे भी मुझे बहुत कम मिलता है. So this is a therapeutic diet. So a normal diet, a person can eat anything and everything seasonally and whatever or how much is required for your body. And therapeutic diet is a change in the diet, just you can say manipulating the diet or skipping certain things from the diet or adding certain things to the diet. Now people say, I would say, ki what is bread? Bread is made out of wheat only. मैदा क्या है? Wheat ही है. Wheat, when it is sieved more times, it becomes bread. Now 80% of people say that bread is not good for health. Some people say bread खाने से मुझे bloating हो जाता है. Some people say bread खाने से मेरा weight gain हो जाता है. Some people say I'm avoiding bread. I'm on such a diet that I'm avoiding bread. It's not that it's good or it's not that it's bad also. So as I said, every person has issue with different types of food. So that can be called as allergy to the food, to allergy to the food, or that can be called allergy to the food, or intolerance to the food, or something, some certain food which you cannot digest. So these were the few. This was an example of what was therapeutic diet. Now coming to the preparation of therapeutic charts for special groups or patients. Now if I say, as I just said before some time, it's not that one diet fits everybody. So if you are aging, if a person 70, 75 years old comes to me and asks me, I want to have all the nutrients, I want all the nutrients that are required for the body. So can you tell me something? So here I can't tell them to eat 60 grams of carbohydrates, ya itna grams of protein, ya itna.
फ्रीज हो गई है क्या वो?
I'm so sorry, I got disconnected. It's for some issues of my mobile. Am I audible? Just give me a second.
Yes, yes.
I'm sorry. So coming back, so coming back, every person cannot a same diet cannot be given to every person. Different person requires a different type of diets. So if I say, I just said before sometime, 0.8 grams per kg of body weight protein is required. But if it's a sports person, so for that person, you need to give more protein. If the person is more active, more physically active, you need to give more protein to that person. So similarly, it is ideally, as mentioned over here, 60 to 70% of total caloric requirement of carbohydrates. Now, what is 60 to 70%? So you all know if it's the whole meal, पूरे दिन में out of that, what all comes from carbohydrate should be 60 to 70%. Protein is 0.8 to 1 grams per kg body weight. Fat should not exceed 20 to 25% of the total calories. Now, if you are taking 1000 calories, तो 250 grams of fats होता है. So I would say कि whatever oil or ghee we are using in cooking, that much is sufficient for a person's fat intake of the day. So people say, yes, when it is a therapeutic diet or when it is a different diet, or then when you're talking about different issues, that is fine. But usually a person should avoid overtaking of ghee or oil, or nowadays very much common things, common disease or disorder you can say is hypertension. So in that case, in such case, people should avoid table salt. Now, what is table salt? Table salt is the excess salt that we are taking. The food which is having that salt, that is sufficient. Salt. So person should avoid table salt. So there are such different requirements of the person, and there are such different things which should be avoided or which should be taken in excess for person with different needs. But coming back to water, I won't say that you have to drink 4 liters or 5 liters or 6 liters of water, because yes, as person it varies from person to person. So for that, you need to take water whenever and whenever and wherever you feel thirsty. The next slide, please. Now, I would just like to tell you role of yogic diet in health and disease. So I've just taken an example of a few disease or disorder which are very common. The first one is not common thing. This is the job of a clinical nutritionist or a clinical dietitian. Post-surgery diet. The post-surgery diet, we put the person into a liquid diet first, and then slowly we increase to soft diet and then put to normal diet. Same thing is with hospitalized patients. Now, fever. What happens in fever? Person gets dehydrated. And because of that dehydration, there are more chances of the fever or the temperature not coming good. So the moment you feel feverish or you see the temperature on the thermometer, the first thing what you can do is take more of liquids. If you can take only water, well and good, nothing like it. But otherwise, at least take more of liquids. You can take lemon juice. You can take then you can take salt and sugary liquids, but you have to take more of liquids. Then in diarrhea, whole cereals are avoided. Now I just missed one part. Good that reminded me here. Cereals, grains, legumes. These are very much all different parts of the food. We all must have heard. As I said before, sometimes people say, I am on a grain-free diet now. Grain-free diet क्या होता है? I don't eat chapati, I don't eat rice, I don't eat this. So where do you going to get carbohydrate from? Before some time I said 60 to 70% of your diet should be carbohydrate. So if you put yourself onto grain-free, where are you going to get a carbohydrate from? If you are taking only protein, more of protein, your organs are going to get more pressure for digesting that things, because that is not the right path of there. That is not their duty. So they're going to get more pressure to that to digest all that. So please avoid crash diets. That is, people say 3 हफ्ते में या 2 हफ्ते में या 8 days में weight loss होता है, तो please be away from all these things, and please don't take diets from Google या ये वो वहां से, please don't pick up diets. For your normal diet plan, you need to understand your body first. As a yogi, the first thing and always we say कि you have to understand yourself. So first you need to understand yourself to know what is required for your body. As I said before, sometimes some people are allergic to certain things. Some people don't digest those things easily. Some people get nauseatic because of certain things. So that is up to you, that you have to understand for yourself what is good for you. Now coming to next most important disease or disorder, what you say for that the diet which would a dietitian, what the dietitian would tell you. Next disease is hypertension. As I said, people say you to avoid salt. Table salt is to be avoided. The most important thing or disease or disorder where people look for diet is diabetes mellitus, which is very, very common now. I can say 1 out of 2 person is diabetes now, and the age is also coming very lesser now. So people say, मुझे diabetes detect हुआ था, I have a pre-diabetic now, and I have cut down with sugar, which is a good thing. But only cutting down of sugar is not going to help. मैं शुगर चाय के साथ शुगर नहीं लेता हूँ या नहीं लेती हूँ, बट देन व्हाट यू ईट इन मील इज, आज मैंने एक बर्गर खा लिया, आज मैंने एक पिज्जा खा लिया, then I mean, and I know people have reasons on saying why pizza. इतने सारे वेजीज भी है उसमें, चीज भी है जो मुझे प्रोटीन भी दे देगा, so it is an wholesome meal. मतलब people think कि पिज्जा इज एन wholesome meal बिकॉज उसमें वेजीज भी सारे आ जाते हैं, चीज है जो उनको प्रोटीन देता है. But what about the fats about of the base? The base is more and veggies are less. And again, it is though it is baked, but it contains so many things which and it's a pure refined refined wheat. So that is again which is going to convert into sugar. Let me tell you one important thing, that is carbohydrate converts into simple sugar into your body. So if a person says कि मैं पूरे दिन में इतना सा शुगर भी नहीं खाता हूँ फिर भी मेरे sugar levels कम नहीं होते, भाई कैसे हो गए if you are eating too much of carbohydrate. Now your I could say कि जो 60-70% of carbohydrate regular diet के लिए था, that you can cut down to 40-50% also. So you should eat proper protein, not more protein, because diabetes mein there are different issues which a doctor would tell you, explain you later on, but it may increase your creatinine and there are a number of things. So I won't say increase your protein, but at least take 0.5, 0.8 grams of grams per kg body weight of proteins. ये कोई भी नहीं लेता है. No, not even in regular day-to-day life, a person is taking this much of protein. And trust me, if you take that proper amount of protein and if you avoid certain wrong food combinations, then you will never ever need to take any of the supplements. Very, very common supplements nowadays, calcium. Every house must be having calcium and magnesium and vitamin B12 and vitamin D का supplements. कॉमन एग्जाम्पल सबके पास है, वेजिटेरियन को B12 कहाँ से मिलेगा? Where will we get calcium from? But there are n number of foods from where you get this. I'll give you a simple example of iron. People say I am eating so many foods which are rich in iron, लेकिन फिर भी मेरा हीमोग्लोबिन कम रहता है. Now what wrong you are doing? You are eating beetroot, which is good in iron. I'll give you a few examples which you say they are good in iron, but I'm just giving one example of wrong combination. But if you are taking tea and coffee, with your meal, your iron is not going to get absorbed. Though it is less in absorption, but it is not going to be absorbed. So what is the point in eating so much of iron when the absorption is not happening? A very common simple example I have seen कि मैं कैल्शियम टैबलेट ले रहा हूँ बट फिर भी मेरा पैर दर्द कम नहीं हुआ है and my weight is increasing. Now the culprit for weight increase here is the calcium tablet. No, the culprit is the wrong combination. Usually people are used to take calcium tablets with milk. This is a very wrong combination because milk may be calcium hota, and if you are taking a calcium supplement, it forms a chelate which is difficult to digest and difficult to absorb. So digestion bhi nahi hoga, absorption bhi nahi hoga. So you're not going to get the required calcium what you want, and you're going to obviously gain weight. So there are so many wrong combinations of food which we are eating. Very, very common concept of taking chas with our meal. Almost everybody is taking that. But trust me, that is also a wrong combination. I'm not saying don't take buttermilk. You can take buttermilk preferably before meal or sometimes after the meal. A common thing of dessert कब खाते हैं? At the end. Now, if I tell you that is a wrong concept, you will tell me I am a fool. But if you practice the thing what I am telling you, trust me, if your blood sugar levels are hyping, they will also come to normal in spite of eating sweets, and your craving of that will also reduce, and you will not gain weight also. You have to have your sweets before your meal. उससे दो फायदा होगा. One, you won't over, मतलब eating कम हो जाएगा because sweets is you can say heavier, a little bit difficult to digest. So the moment you eat sweets, पेट becomes full faster. So you will eat the rest of the things less. So obviously weight नहीं बढ़ेगा. Secondly, what happens with a sweets is जब वो spike up होता है in your blood, that won't happen because it will go with rest of the food in your intestine, in your stomach and intestine, and it will be properly distributed as the rest of the nutrients are distributed in the body. So blood sugar levels increase होने में मतलब increase नहीं होने में ये काफी help करता है. As Monali ma'am says, it's 2:45. I am up with my explanation. Any questions up?